Okay guys, it's Monday, April 13th. I just finished, actually I made up a workout yesterday. And I want to demonstrate the lifts. Again, I posted something earlier to show you how I design my workouts and how I would want you to go through it and progress through it. I think this one's pretty good, pretty intense. Just make sure, again, your form's perfect. Be creative in what you're using. The first thing on it is just the body squats we've done before, and utilizing this as part of a warm-up. Do your 5 to 10 minute warm-up before this. Okay, so again, the body squats, you can change up the width of your legs. You know, last time we were shoulder width apart. Okay, you may, if you're feeling a little tighter in here, or you want to get your, you go a little bit wider. If you're feeling tight up in front, you may go a little bit closer to try to isolate your quadriceps a little bit more. All right, I'm gonna go a little bit wider today. Okay, again, I'm not too concerned about where your hands are. All right, you can hear, sometimes I try to challenge myself and stick them out here or stick them up above my head, all right, or here. But all right, we're just gonna go down again. You can do the pulses, all right, you don't have to. You can add more reps to where you're just doing a body weight squat. Okay, again, but I do want your form really good on here. Make sure you're trying to sit back onto your heels. Okay, you should almost feel your feet coming up into a dorsiflexion position, okay? So you're coming here, challenge yourself. Go ahead and go past parallel if you can. You can work it in a little bit here. I don't want your knees collapsing though at any point. Okay, so even if you go the abductions, all right, don't let your knees come in at the end, okay? You can change your angles up, okay? All right, so just make sure when you go down, your knees don't go past your toes. Again, weight on your heels. Okay, one more thing before you get started. As I was going through it, I forgot I didn't do a no-vice version of the push-up. I still want you to do the 5-5-1, okay? Just make sure, and you'll see as you get there, just make sure that if you can't do it on the floor with proper form, keeping your spine straight, that you do it on an incline, a couch or something like that. And to go along with that, guys, when you get done, make sure you cool down, okay? The worst thing you could do is get a good hard pump in and then just get into a state to where you're just sitting, maybe playing video games, or whatever. I would go for a little run, do a light run, just do some walking, do some static stretching. Other than that, try to do this again Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Now that I have a couple on YouTube, you can pick a different one and do it Wednesday. Okay, the idea again though is you need to wait at least 48 hours before you work on a body part. And if you do this one Monday and Wednesday, I would probably give yourself 3 days and do the next one Saturday. Okay, I just don't want you overdoing it, and understand how your body feels. Again, I discussed that in an intro this morning that is also going to be posted. So watch that, watch this, and I hope you guys have a great week. Okay, this is the standing row. Use a door frame. Use any type of frame. Just make sure it's solid. You don't want to be grabbing onto the crown molding that's around anything. Okay, obviously I got a bar here. I know this is not going to break. I could do it on this wooden piece here. Just make sure you find something that's sturdy. Okay, all you're going to do is you really want to try to get your feet probably almost splitting it. Okay, go ahead and sit down. Okay, and lean back, and then you just roll like this. Again, this is just a warm up. Okay, if you want to be a little bit more difficult, you can go ahead and put your feet a little bit more further apart. Okay, or if it's too hard, bring your feet up some and then just pull. All right, you're trying to pull with here. Okay, you're pulling with your back. You can change your angle up as your elbow comes back and you feel it hit different parts, maybe right by your chest. Okay, or out more like a face pull. Okay, again, you more advanced guys, I'd really lean back here and try to pull up. Okay, all right, again, make sure you're doing both arms. All right, and just be careful with what you're using for this, okay? All right, this next exercise is hip cars. Okay, we're just trying to, the CAR stands for controlled articular rotation. Basically, we're trying to warm up your hip joints. There's multiple ways you can do this. What I really like to do, especially if I'm standing, okay, I try to keep it at 90-90 almost the whole time. Okay, so 90 degrees at the hips, 90 degree at the knee. Okay, and I'll change up how I play with this a lot, but the regular hip car is just from here, you go out, okay? So you're abducting as far as you can, and then you're gonna externally rotate your hip. Okay, so you're gonna come up. All right, so keep your knee up and then try to rotate your ankle up. Okay, and then from there, you're just gonna reach back, and I kind of get into a single leg RDL. I don't care, I'm not even too concerned even if you fall back on it, but I do want you to come back up in the same direction, okay? So if I'm doing my other leg here, sometimes I'll go in, I'll adduct my hips a little bit just to get a little bit of movement, especially if I'm tight in here, warm up my groin muscle, okay? A little stretch, a little pull, okay? Then I'm going out as far as I can, and then I'll rotate up. Okay, again, try to keep your knee elevated when you do that. Don't let your knee drop while you rotate. Keep your knee up and then rotate out like this, and you should feel a good little stretch and movement pattern. Sometimes I'll get in this position, getting a little hamstring fired up, and sometimes I'll do some ankle work. Just depends on it. And again, let's come back, okay, and then here. Okay, so quickly from the side, boom. Sometimes I'll play around with it. I might do this a couple times. Boom, let's come up, keep the knee high. Into your little RDL, I like to do it here. And then I'll bring up, sometimes I'll even come like this a couple times. Okay, and then back. Okay, we got ankle mobility. You can do it multiple ways. I like to do the hip opener ankle mobility. This is my favorite one because I get some hip stretch too. Okay, where I'm just rocking back and forth on my ankles. Or you can work all different directions here, okay? You can just do it standing if you want to, or kneeling, where you're just kind of rocking back and forth. Okay, again, a lot of the squat deficiencies occur because of limited ankle mobility. A lot of people have their ankles wrapped all the time. That's not how they're meant to move. Okay, so you want to make sure you're working these. If you're doing some sort of drilling and you need an ankle brace, try to make sure you're doing a little bit of drilling without an ankle brace. All right, it doesn't have to be as many reps. You can do it longer, you can do it less. Just, if you're feeling tighter on one side, maybe work that ankle up a little bit more. Okay, this is the Bulgarian split squat. You can use a book bag on your back. You can put it on your front. You can do body weight. On the workout, I have 5-5-1. What I want there is I want 5 seconds down. Okay, so the eccentric phase. Now I want a 5-second isometric hold, and then up 1 second, and you're up maybe 2 seconds. You're only gonna do it 5 reps. If you feel like you wanna do more, then you can do a couple more, but I promise you, if you do it right, it's really gonna burn. So again, I'm not going to use the book bag. I'm not quite loose enough yet, okay? But I'm going to show you when you're doing this. Whenever you're doing a Bulgarian split squat, if you want to get more of the hamstring, stretch it out a little bit more, okay? And sit back more. If you ever want to get a little bit more of the quadricep, you're going to lean over with your chest a little bit, all right? The key to this is whatever you do, don't let your knees go past your toes. Sit your weight and your hips back, okay? Use anything, use a chair. This is probably a little bit too tall. Okay, I could probably use my couch here, might be a little bit better for me. But let's just, I want a true 5-second count, okay? The best way to build muscle mass or hypertrophy is called time under tension. Okay, so if you think about it, if you're doing 5 reps, each rep's 11 seconds, you're almost going for a minute. Okay, so you're gonna go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then you're going to hold it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then up 1 second. Okay, you're going to repeat that 5 different times. Okay, when you're doing this, again, let's make sure that we're sitting down, knees aren't past toes. Okay, we don't want any inversion, we don't want any knee valgus is what it's called. We don't want your knee collapsing. Okay, try to push away from the floor. Keep everything, your hip, your knee over top of your toes, but don't go in front of it. Okay, so everything's still, your hips, your knees, your toes all in line, your ankle all in line, okay? From this side, all right, just gonna look, when you come down, again, you should be sitting straight down. Don't get with your knees in front of your toes, okay? Should be about a 90-degree angle. You may go a little bit deeper, okay? All right, and then when you get here, squeeze. Okay, that's your Bulgarian split squat. Your push-ups with your 5-5-1. Okay, it's the same thing as the Bulgarian split squat. Again, we're trying to build a little bit of muscle mass. So all you're gonna do is just make sure you're doing push-ups, put something on your back. You can, guys, if you think about it, get somebody to hold your back down. Now, if you do that, make sure you're not putting it right on your shoulder blades. You may go right underneath it, okay? I don't want you too low because I don't want you to push your back into hyperextension. You may go above it, but I want your shoulder blades to be able to slide, okay? So don't have it. You may go in the middle of them. Just be careful about your spine, okay? So they can hold you. I think this works good enough. I use this heavy book bag, and doing the 5-5-1 is almost impossible, but you can take a book out or two, whatever. Okay, so when you do this again, let's make sure that when we're in our push-up position, okay, our elbows come back, okay, at a 45-degree angle. Okay, so you're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I want you to hold it about 4 inches above. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then up 1. Okay, so again, you're going down 5 seconds, you're holding an isometric hold for 5 seconds, and you're up 1 second. Okay, 5, 6, 7 reps should be good. This is Russians. Everybody's probably done the Russians before. I think the book bag's perfect for this. All you can do is you can do it modified version where your legs are on the ground. You do want to lean slightly back. Okay, and you can even just pick this up, all right, and move it to the other side. Okay, or you can do the advanced. You can elevate your legs and then do the Russians. Okay, you really don't want to get a whole. The idea of a lot of core work is keeping your spine stable. Okay, your spine's really not meant to bend and twist and all that stuff. So I prefer when I'm doing my core work, even when I'm doing, it's kind of like a plank, to keep my spine straight and move my limbs. Okay, you can rotate some. Okay, you want to get some of that rotation work, but a lot of times you're gonna get stronger by the anti-rotation work. Okay, so keep your chest forward and then go back and forth with your Russian. Okay, again, like I said, you may go here and just not lean back quite as much if it's too difficult. Or take this next exercise is pretty difficult, and you're probably gonna need a partner unless you have bands. I have some bands that I use that I tie around my bed, tie around the couch, and it's a plank pull down. It's simulating a pull up. It's simulating your lat pull downs. Okay, but I like to add a little bit of core work into it. If you don't have either of those, and you have somebody that will help you, have them grab a towel. Okay, and they can sit down on a couch and give you resistance. Okay, so all it is you're doing a plank and then you're going to do a pull, like a lat pull down. So let's act like I'm here on the couch and I have bands. I don't have any with me. So I want you to think about somebody using a towel, because a lot of you guys probably don't have bands. But if you do have bands, tie it around. When you're doing your plank, okay, try to think about pushing your shoulder blade away from the ground. Okay, a lot of times you'll get this big wing, they call it the wing here, you don't really want. You younger guys, we're gonna do, I want you guys to do it in a quadruped position. So like this, if you have a partner, just have them grab a towel and you're just gonna pull and they can resist your pull. Okay, you can squeeze it here in isometric hold. So here, knees under hips, arms under, hands under your shoulders. Okay, and you're gonna pull here. All right, and just pull. So you older guys, comfortable guys, when you're doing your planks, when you plank, guys, you should be rotating. Okay, you should be solid. If you got to get a wide base, that's fine. If you want to, you can plank like this. Okay, but you plank here, get your bands, and then you're gonna pull and squeeze. Okay, pull and squeeze. So the other side, again, we're not getting any hip rotation. We're keeping our spine straight. Pull, squeeze. Okay, you can have a partner holding a towel. All right. And then they're going to resist. And then you may even say, okay, hold it here, give me some more resistance here, and then ease up a little bit. Okay, so that, again, younger guys, 8th graders, just do it like this. If you want to get a little bit of core work afterwards, just do a front plank after that. Okay, here's single leg RDL pulls. This is a pretty difficult exercise. We're trying to use our back leg for resistance. Okay, so a regular RDL, single leg RDL would be here where you're trying to form your T. Okay, we're working the hamstrings. Okay, when you do this, I'm gonna get a little bit more bend in my legs. Okay, a little bit more bend in my knee, but I still wanna pull here. I'm gonna, you can adjust your foot position. You may need to take your shoes off. Okay, but you're gonna go here and you're gonna try it again. You don't want, once you get into this slight bend position, you don't want that angle to change. Okay, you're just gonna lean back, go ahead and let your chest get over. I can already feel it here. Now I'm gonna push into the floor with my back leg. And I'm gonna stand up using my hamstring. Okay, so again, I'm sliding here. You may just step it back, hold, and I'm gonna pull with my hamstring to slide up. Okay, you're gonna feel that thing really big here, okay? If it's too difficult, younger guys, just try to get to your T look. Okay, so I'm trying to get to where my chest is parallel to the ground. I'm trying to get my leg parallel to the ground there. I can feel that working there, even if I do that. Now you're more advanced. You want to go and sit back. Put resistance, drag that foot, and stand up. Okay? That's your single leg RDL. All right, younger guys, for you, instead of doing the plank pull down, I had you just doing regular planks. You guys know how to do planks. The main thing I just want you to focus on is squeezing your glutes, squeezing your butt cheeks. If you don't, the tendency is going to be for kind of like to hang off your tendons and your joints. Okay, so just get everything good, comfortable, and just make sure you're squeezing. Okay, and try to keep everything in line. All right, so you can do front plank, you can do it a minute, you can do it a minute and a half, whatever you're comfortable with. Okay, we're gonna do an elevated leg vertical press. Okay, so basically all we're gonna do is, if it's too hard for you, okay, you younger guys, I have a little adjustment for you. You older guys, you're just gonna do, you can use your book bag, you can use a band. I like taking 2 bands and doing it, okay, but you can use your book bag. All you can do is you're gonna elevate your legs and vertical press. Elevate your leg, vertical press, okay? Make sure that you're not too much weight to where you're falling backwards. Okay, it should be nice and controlled. You can figure out what's most comfortable with you as you're pushing up. If that's too much, you can just do a vertical press, and then you can do a leg raise, just sitting here to get your core work in. You younger guys, I just want you doing a double kneeling. I don't want you sitting back and going like this. Okay, this is pretty heavy right here, so go lighter. Okay, but a double kneeling where your spine, your hips and your knees and your shoulders are all in line. Okay, and you're just going from here, pressing up. Okay, I'm using the book bag just so I'm showing you an example of something you could use. All right, so that's your elevated leg vertical press and your double kneeling vertical press. All right, these are the eccentric adductor sits we're focusing on here. I have on the workout ankle mobility. I showed you how to do that in one though. Change up, do your ankle mobility the other way. I just didn't feel the need to show you twice, but this is eccentric adductor sits. The goal is to get really wide. Okay, we're trying to, it's almost like a sumo deadlift. Okay, we're pointing our toes out. Okay, and we're working here. So you find somewhere, a couch or somewhere where you're okay with sitting down. Maybe test out the surface to see what it's going to feel like. Okay, the goal here is to squeeze inward. Okay, I'm trying to pull the floor inward as I start to try to resist falling back. You're ultimately going to fall back. Okay, I like to, from this position, to try to stand up using my inner thighs, my growing muscles. So I'll stand up and then work. Okay, toes pointed out, I'm slow. I go ahead and let my chest lean forward some here, okay, but I'm pulling in. If you want to make it a little more difficult, you can hold something at your chest, okay, maybe the book bag or something, and then slow, and then just let yourself fall. My knees don't bend any more than what they do originally. The tendency a lot of kids do is, as they start going down, they start to sit, okay, so they start to fall backwards, and then they sit, okay, no, lock your knees with a slight bend, and then fall, and then try to resist with that. Okay, that's a good burn. And then again, when you stand up, try to use your growing muscles, your inner thigh muscles to get you off of the couch or whatever you're using to get off. Okay, I assume everybody knows this one. All right, everybody likes a good old bicep curl. Very simple. Just use your book bag and you're just doing your bicep curls. Okay, a lot of kids don't like to go all the way down. Get full extension. If you really want to get that thing firing, when you get to the top, squeeze. Okay, you're going slow. It's not a powerful movement. Okay, so get up here and squeeze. I have on there doing one of each, that and the wrist curls. The wrist curls are kind of, you can just do wrist curls just like this. Okay, let it extend, then flex. Extend, flex. Guys, you can do 2 sets of each. You can do 1 set of each, I don't care. Okay, you can change up your grip on this. You know, you may be able to get a little more of a hammer grip like this, as opposed to a supine grip like this, okay? Just depending on how you hold your book bag. So, again, you got your wrist curls. You can sit down and do your wrist curls like this. Let it roll down and then just pull it up. Okay, or you can do it standing up. You might take a little bit of weight out and do it standing up. So that's your bicep curl and your wrist curls. Okay, this is going to be your side plank, working on your rotator cuff strength. All right, that's part of your shoulder girdle, basically. I'm using Kinesiology of the Musculoskeletal System. Now, this one is a good book. It's a textbook, and it was a hard read, but this is where I like the type of stuff that I enjoy reading and learning about. So this is really good for you baseball players, but we can't always work on the vertical presses. Okay, we got to make sure we're working in different planes of motion. This is a good one for that. So just to add a little bit of core work to it, okay, I like to lock, again, let's get our ankles, our knees, our hips, and our shoulders all in line when we get into our plank. Okay, let's not let it sag here. Let's get it up, get everything direct line. Okay, then from here, all we're gonna do is we're gonna just pull up. Okay, go as far as you can. I prefer to try to keep it at a 90-degree angle here, as opposed to like being real close to my body. You know, if you're standing up using bands or something. Okay, so here, and then you're just rotating out. Okay, slow. Again, this is not a powerful movement. This is more of a prehabilitation movement, so prehab, so you're not rehabbing, you're prehabbing, you know, fighting the injury potential, okay, just like this, all right? Again, you know, that's kind of similar. If I was standing up, the angle would be like this, okay, and then pull in here, okay, pull as far. If you have bands, you can do it standing up and do a side plank, all right, so that's side plank, rotator cuff. Okay, the single leg calf raise, very simple. Put something on your back, get into a door frame, give yourself a little resistance from overhead, lock it in, find a step. You can do it without a step, maybe stand on a book, okay, and then you're just doing your single leg calf raises, all right, you can do each leg.